taught 6 years in 2nd grade, and this is my 11th year teaching in 1st grade.
Okay, describe your experience with children in 1st grade.
I think in 1st grade you see the most growth in kids. They come from kindergarten, they're still kind of immature, and they still want to scribble as opposed to color. Their printing and their writing is not structured as much, and so by the end of 1st grade you see a huge development in their writing, their maturity, their way to socialize with kids. It's a good year. It's a good growth year for 1st graders.
Any specific guidelines or rules that they have to follow?
Curriculum-wise or social-wise?
Social-wise.
Well, you have to use the rules of being kind to others. You have to learn how to share, how to take turns. They have to learn to listen. That's a huge one in 1st grade, is that when someone else is talking, you have to be respectful, and you have to learn to listen. You have to learn to speak. You have to learn to, actually it's just like being kind with each other, because in 1st grade it seems like there's a lot of tattling. There's a lot of give me. It's just a huge growth in how to be respectful to other kids and to adults as well.
Okay. Is there anything unusual or strange that occurs with children?
There's always some unusual things that occur with kids, but it's really just a learning experience for kids. Maybe sometimes they might be a child who maybe might be an only child, and they're used to getting what they want when they want it, and so it's kind of hard for them to learn to share with other kids. When you do have challenging and unusual things, you do have to take certain channels and paperwork and guidelines to go through. Like if they're uncooperative or if there's a behavior problem, you go to the principal, you go to the parents, that type of chain of command.
Okay. Is there anything that you would do different when you deal with kids?
I think every year is different. It just depends on your group, because you might have kids that work well individually, but to have a cohesive unit, to have them work well as a team, as a group, sometimes that's very difficult. So some years I might have kids who work really well with each other, and it's a really good group, and you can do fantastic things with kids. You can work with small groups, you can maybe do more challenging curriculum, but if you have a group that has a hard time sitting down, or they have a hard time because they talk too much, it's very difficult to do more interesting things with the kids.
Is there anything you want to add?
Maybe something unusual that's happened this year with some of your 1st grade students?
Like behavior-wise,
something recent?
Nothing too unusual. That's kind of hard to get into without overstepping my bounds of what I should and shouldn't say within the classroom. But I do have some kids who act out. You'll have the boys who just fall off their chairs because their motor skills are different. So you'll have kids who are just sitting there 1 minute, and the next minute they're just on the floor because they fall off their chair. It seems like this year I have a group of girls who like to tattle on each other or talk about how they're dressed, and so you just kind of have to watch that, because sometimes the parents get very upset if they hear that their kid's being talked about in the classroom. So you kind of have to, discuss behavior in the classroom with the kids. But I have not had anything so unusual where it's been a problem with the kids or myself or other parents in the classroom.
Good. And I think that's it.
Thank you.
But if there's anything exciting that happens, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay.